Well, good morning, everyone. And first of all, I want to thank everyone that's in attendance today for coming here. Especially, I want to thank our officers from HPD for being here. This is a day that we've waited for with great anticipation because we understand the gravitas of this decision. This is an important piece of legislation that I can promise you we spent a lot of time being very thorough in our decision-making. You know, the Supreme Court's decision for open carry presented its own unique problems for us here in Hawaii as a culture and as a place, as a people. And we wanted to stand by that, understanding our responsibility, but how could we best implement it? So in that regard, I want to really especially thank Dan Gluck, who's going to come up here in a bit to speak. His brilliance in understanding our position and wanting to be as fair but as aggressive as we could in the best interest of public safety while being in compliance with the law was absolutely brilliant. And Dan, I just can't thank you enough. You've put in, I don't even know how to calculate the amount of hours, but it was a lot of hours and a lot of effort. And we did this because our overriding priority in all the things that we're doing, and believe me, there are many things that we're trying to get done at the city, is public safety. That if there was anything more equal in all of our initiatives, it's in the interest of public safety. So we have some really outstanding guests today and voices that I really want you to hear. It's my privilege of the Mayor and City County of Honolulu at this moment in time today to be able to sign this piece of legislation. But I really would like you to hear from the voices we have in attendance.
Well, Honolulu is going to take one step closer to becoming a safe, welcoming place today with the signing of Bill 57. I want to thank the mayor, I want to thank Corporation Council, I want to thank the administration for being a good partner in working with the City Council to craft a bill that we can put forward to make sure that our residents remain safe from the scourge of gun violence that we see all across this country. Over the course of 5 hearings, we had the chance to hear from folks across the community, people that support the Second Amendment and people that want to see sensible gun control measures in place. And we were able to listen to their input and come up with the list of 13 sensitive places that we've identified in this bill. And we also came up with comprehensive signage requirements as well as enforcement provisions. At the end of the day, this is about keeping Hawaii's gun rate the lowest in the country, which it has been for many, many years. And hopefully, for many years to come, we will not see the kind of gun violence and tragedies that we see all around this country. So again, I want to thank the mayor, thank the administration, thank Corporation Council, thank the advocates on all sides that came together to inform this bill so we could come up with something that makes sense for this island home that we all share.
Thank you. I'd like to have Dan Gluck come up. And Dan, even though I know you're here to explain the signs, given all of your hard work on this, if there's anything else that you want to add today, please feel free, okay?
Well, thank you, Mayor, for those kind words. Thank you all for being here today. The bill will go into effect on May 1st, and I know the mayor and the council are committed to making implementation as smooth as possible for everyone involved. So to that end, we've been working to create signs for businesses and charitable organizations to put up in their establishments. So for anyone who would like to allow firearms on the property, we'll have these signs here saying guns allowed. Again, very clear for the community to see. Most businesses are going to have an actual door through which patrons enter, and so for those businesses, you just need an 8.5 by 11 paper with this design on it. We will have those available to download, so you can print them for yourself and tape them up in your business. We will also have them printed for you and for free to distribute at satellite city halls and other locations. For those businesses and other locations that don't have a physical door through which patrons will enter, we'll have an 18 by 24 version of the same poster. So a little larger so that people can be able to see. Again, if businesses want to allow firearms on the property, they'll have to have this posted. Now, businesses and charities that don't want to allow guns, again, that's going to be the default rule anyway, but they can post signs if they would like to. Again, here's the design. It will be available for download, and hopefully we'll make it as clear as possible for everyone. So thank you all again.
I want to bring up someone very special right now, Ms. Lima DaCosta. And come on. And I would like you to hear from her. Please come up.
Mahalo to everyone who has worked really hard to bring this to fruition. It's been a long struggle, and I know that there have been times that I myself have not been as enthusiastic or supportive, so I just wanted to thank everyone who has extended their grace and their patience with me, and for all of the hard work that everyone has poured into this effort. I wouldn't be here if it weren't for my daughter's death. So I do want to make sure that she's with us here today. I don't share this photograph because it's the best photo of her. I share it because it's the very last photograph of her. It's a photograph of her at a conference for children who are exposed to violence and human trafficking. And in that vein, I would like to carry on her memory, and I hope that each of you will also remember that behind every gun incident, there is a family, there's a story, there are situations that are evolving. It's been very difficult for myself, and I just can't put into words what it feels like to lose a loved one, especially a child that has such a bright future. So to that extent, I just wanted to make sure that Elizabeth, my daughter, is here with us today, and that she's watching over us, and that each one of you knows that she thanks you and that she shares with you her aloha. My aloha is deeply extended to you, and I thank each one of you for everything that you have done, and I hope to be able to work with each of you at crafting further legislation so that we can do more to help protect our community. So thanks again to each one of you. From Elizabeth and from myself, we send our deepest aloha. Mahalo.
Olima, thank you. I know that that was not easy for you, and I can assure you, as a parent myself, your daughter is very proud of you. I feel Elizabeth's presence just by what you said and what you shared. Thank you. I want to bring up Chris Marvin from Everytown's National Volunteer Council. Is Chris in the room? Right here, okay.
Morning, everyone. I'd first like to just take a moment with Ilima coming up here. She's wearing her Mom's Demand Action shirt. I know Giffords is represented here, Brady, Indivisible Hawaii. There are a lot of groups who are advocating across the country for safer gun laws and anything, culture changes that will help us to prevent gun violence. And they are active and present here in Hawaii, and they are the reason that bills like this get done. They work with your legislators, and they make that happen. So just really quickly for all the advocacy groups that are here today. I represent Everytown for Gun Safety. I lead the National Veteran Advisory Council. So my job across the whole country is to get veterans engaged in gun violence prevention work. I also just happen to live here in Nu'uanu, so I am lucky to be able to be the veteran that I get involved when we are doing gun violence prevention work here in Hawaii. In the military, we have 3 pillars of military gun safety: training, safety, and accountability. And those are what keep our service members safe when they are exercising the use of firearms. This is the nation's profession of arms, and we should look to them when we make our gun laws and gun culture. But what I know is that when veterans talk about gun violence, what they wonder is, why does our civilian culture and civilian gun laws not look more like what we believed in and practiced in the military? With Bill 57, Honolulu County looks a little bit more like that, right? This bill brings in training, it brings in safety measures, and most of all, it brings in accountability for those who are going to be given the privilege to carry a concealed weapon in our state, in our county. So I applaud the mayor and the city council for pushing this bill through and making this a reality. And I also want to take a quick moment to point out that this is maybe one of the most important parts of the bill, because this relieves Honolulu business owners, mom and pop shops who don't have to challenge a person with a gun because they might not have this sign up, right? If as long as they don't have this sign, we are creating a default that says that we don't need to have guns carried into a private establishment, and you're just taking the burden off of so many of our citizens that they don't have to deal with that controversy. So thank you for doing it and making these very, very clear signs.
Before I sign the bill, I just want to add one thing to what Chris was saying, because we don't have that representation in the room necessarily today. We did extensive outreach in talking with our Retail Merchants Association, the restaurant trade, hospitals, school systems, churches. just to take the temperature, if you will, on where our decision-making was and how they felt about it. And so it was in that outreach, in the conversations that we had, and even some of the testimony that some of those organizations provided to council, that we felt even more supported in what we've said. So Chris, I thank you for being here today. Alima, I thank you for being here today. Councilmember DeSantis Tam, thank you. And Dan Gluck, I cannot say enough about your brilliance, sir. I thank you for crafting this bill. We're very proud of this, and with that, I'm ready to sign it.